today were not yet born. Others who were there that day are no longer standing with us, but are here in spirit. Those who started National Day of Mourning could not have envisioned that we would still be here, no matter the weather and no matter the political climate. For the 38th time, we are standing on liberated territory in Plymouth. It is freed by our presence and by the presence of those who stood here before us. Over the past 38 years, we have been asked many times why we stand here, cold and hungry, when we could be home eating turkey and watching football. Our answer has always been the same, because Thanksgiving is a national day of mourning for Native Americans. As Native people, we give thanks every day. But we will not give thanks for the European invasion of our country. And we come here to speak the truth. We come here to honor our ancestors who died as a result of the European invasion. We come here to gather strength from each other and to hear what is going on all over Indian country today. Day of Mourning came into being in 1970 as a direct result of the state's need to keep the truth buried. Wamsutter Frank James, an Aquinnah Wampanoag man, and my father had been invited to speak at a gathering of Massachusetts dignitaries commemorating the 350th anniversary of the landing of the Pilgrims. The state asked for a copy of Wamsutter's remarks. Because his speech did not glorify the Pilgrims, he was told that he would not be allowed to speak. The state was more than willing to write a speech for him that would keep the lies alive. He refused to have words placed in his mouth. If Wamsutter had been a good Indian and done what he was told, there would have been no first day of mourning in 1970. But instead of speaking to a group of dignitaries in the warmth of a banquet hall, he and a small group of other Native Americans came here to Plymouth, stood in the cold, and declared U.S. Thanksgiving Day a national day of mourning. Now, what was it about that 1970 speech that got those officials so upset? The Pilgrims, like Columbus, did not discover an empty land. Every inch of this land was and remains Indian land. You can applaud, yeah? That's cool. The Pilgrims, who do not even call themselves Pilgrims, came over here as part of a business venture and were not seeking religious freedom. They already had that in Holland. Sexism, racism, anti-lesbian and gay bigotry, jails, and a class system did not exist here until introduced by the European invaders. The Pilgrims were no better than any other Europeans in their treatment of the indigenous people here. They killed Indians, they stole land, they tried to turn Indian people against each other. And the Pilgrims did not even land at that sacred shrine down the hill called Plymouth Rock, a monument to racism and oppression. As soon as they stepped ashore in present-day Eastham, down on the Cape, the Pilgrims opened my ancestors' graves and stole our corn and beans. Later, from Plymouth Harbor, the very harbor we can see from here, the English sold my ancestors as slaves for 220 shillings each. The first official day of Thanksgiving was proclaimed in 1637 by Governor Winthrop. He did so to celebrate the safe return of the men from Massachusetts who had gone to Mystic, Connecticut to participate in the massacre of over 700 Pequot women, children, and men. About the only true thing in the whole mythology is that these pitiful European strangers would not have survived their first several years in New England were it not for the aid of Squanto, Massasoit, and other Wampanoag people. What Native people got in return for this help was genocide, theft of our lands, and never-ending repression. This is indeed America's hometown. So we speak today of our history, but National Day of Mourning is about much more than Plymouth and Thanksgiving. This is about a place and a day when we, as people, come together and we alone speak about the costs of our survival and of our ongoing struggles for self-determination. And so we do not seek corporate sponsorship. We are not here to entertain or please the tourists. We do not need historians or anthropologists to speak for us. We do not need museums or corporations to interpret for us. We do not need Disney to make a pretty movie about us, airbrushing out our pain and anger. We are more than capable of speaking for ourselves, standing here on a November day.
Take it nice and slow, folks, nice and slow. There's a lot of people behind us. We can move! We can move!
We're walking. Free Movia!
Free Persia!
Free Movia! Free Persia! Free Movia! Free Persia! Free Movia! Free Persia! Free Movia! Free Persia!
We're not going to charge them anything. I'm sure we could arrive with sledgehammers and all the kind of stuff that we needed, you know, and like I said, wouldn't cost the Commonwealth a cent, and in the scurry, the rock itself just might have to disappear, though. I mean, you know, I've always had one to have one of those illusionists come down here and do that thing where they make the rock disappear, you know, they make the Statue of Liberty disappear. Well, maybe we can conjure it all up, maybe we can get the Plymouth Rock to disappear, because it